you? Who told you? Who told you? You what? God design.
What's the deal, board buddies? Oh, yes. Oh, my goodness. Oh, yes. We up in here today. Oh, my goodness. You know what time it is. It's 7 o'clock on the dot, and it's Thursday. You know what time it is. You know what's going on. It's time for the Boerboel Show, if you didn't know. And on this place, we discuss the dogs that we love, that we feel are the best breed of dogs on earth. This breed is the perfect dog for modern society. It have everything that you want. They beautiful, they strong, they powerful, they athletic, and they highly intelligent. They really love their people, and they encompass all the things that make dogs man's best friend. On this show, we discuss and transfer and exchange information. Knowledge is power. We firmly believe that. We're here to help you, aid you, and empower you through our experiences of 17 years intimately involved with the African Boerboel breed. What's up with my peoples today? How is everyone doing? I hope y'all having a great week thus far. And I thought we was gonna be live on Instagram, but oh well. Well, let me just see if I can get that there again. I can't believe that I did that. I closed out the Instagram thing. But yeah, board buddies, it's up there. We got a great episode for everyone today. I hope that y'all ready for the news that you can use and the tools that you can use. We're gonna give you some valuable information. We don't just discuss the Boerboel, but we aim to empower you. Like we said, we're gonna inspire you and motivate you and give you help you learn without taking the lesson through our experience. You don't have to take the lumps. You don't have to pay the cost. Well, necessarily, you don't have to experience the hardships. So one of the things that I would like to discuss today, we're going to talk about effective management. I think with so many people coming into the Boerboel breed, this is a great way. I think it's misunderstood that when people say the Boerboel is the dog for firm handling and firm ownership, for not for first time owners, what does that mean? What does that mean? You want to have a great relationship with your dog. You want to go out and have fun. You want to experience the world with your dog in a positive way. You don't want it to be a nightmare. The dog is jumping all over you. The dog is acting aggressive, or the dog is not being mannerable. And part of that is a deep understanding of being the dog's best friend and providing the dog everything that it needs in a consistent way. So one of the ways that we do this is through that I have done this through all of the years. You see me out often. What in my observation of the dogs, what I have noticed is the Boerboels are very social, more so than any other dogs that I have had. They really like to be involved with the environment. They like to spend time with their people, and they really operate like a wolf pack, a true family, a true unit, and made up of individual parts. So we're going to talk about, because I hear people call in, and when I'm talking to them on the phone, I got a big backyard, I'm getting it fenced in. You know, the dog is going to have plenty of rooms to run. And that's a misunderstanding of the Boerboel. The dog doesn't just walk itself. He doesn't just go outside and then run around the yard and have fun and entertain himself. It takes so much more than that with a highly sophisticated and intelligent breed like the dog that we have. You have to provide outlets for mental stimulation. And one of the most effective ways to do that is through the purposeful walk, which is much different than just letting the dogs out. I see people do it all the time where they're just walking and the dog is kind of headed out in front. They're letting the dog sniff, 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 sniff. Once the dog takes care of his sniff, it feels like he's done all the sniffing that he can do. Then he moves on to the next territory. So we're going to get into this heavy today, y'all. We're going to break it down seriously. I also did an episode about this, and I think that it's fundamental for you to understand. But before I get in, let me introduce myself. if you haven't been here before, my name is Jordan Pittman, and I am the leader of a team of breeders. I'm a Boerboel enthusiast, and I'm crazy about dogs. I love dogs. I've dedicated lots of years and blood, sweat, and tears specifically to the Boerboel. And through that, I have acquired a great understanding of the breed, and I can explain it how they are different. So if you want to get a better understanding, an insider understanding, a perspective, this is, if you don't know, let me help you out. Some people might know already, but you can still learn from this information. It not only applies to Boerboels, but across dog breeds, you can apply this information. And specifically, when it comes to large dogs, powerful dogs, working dogs, dogs with a higher level, mid to high level of energies, really stay tuned and pay attention, because this is going to be great for you. So in my experience working with the Boerboel, what I've noticed is, like I said, I was getting into how people call, they say they got this yard, and I see people all the time, they kind of just what I call aimlessly floating, right? They're just out walking, and the dog is out, and it's kind of like we're letting the dog out, and it's the idea of being outside seems to satisfy they fulfill their obligations to the dog. But this with a Boerboel, this much different. And if you have to understand this in order to be effective in your role as a leader, it's your responsibility to be an effective leader, right? If you're not, the dog takes the leadership role, and now what you have is dysfunction. You got a dysfunctional family, you got a dysfunctional pack, because the leader has certain responsibilities that only a human can do, like providing food, understanding when it's time to rest, when it's time to move, where we go, and when. The dogs have no control over that. Therefore, you can't leave that to their responsibility. That's dysfunction. Your responsibility as a leader, if you think about the wolf pack, you're responsible for coordinating hunts, moving and migrating to different territories. You're going to control the direction of the pack, the speed, the pace that we move in, all of these different things, because it's a coordinated effort, and the safety and security and well-being of the pack is solely dependent upon the leader's ability to lead. So when you have a dog taking control, you got a mismatched opportunity. Now, so let me explain the difference between aimlessly floating and why you don't want to get into the habit of just letting the dogs out, or the thought process that this is going to be significant, this is going to be substantial. All I can't wait to get my yard so I can get my dog. My dog's going to be out in the back, because the Boerboel is very different. That's not going to satisfy the dog. They're not going to get extremely entertained by the birds, by the squirrels, by the ducks, and the deers, and so on and so forth. The Boerboel is a priority, is the safety and security of and the well-being of the pack. So therefore, they want to know that you're okay. And letting them out in the backyard, that's cool. And they gives the dog an opportunity to take care of their business. But in the long term, this is going to lead to behavior issues. This is going to lead to destructive habits. This is going to lead to anxiety, all different sorts of psychological components that make having a dog problematic. Y'all, we don't, let me say this one time ago, because I thought this crossed my mind. My co-host is unfortunately can't be here today. Big bro, internet connection malfunction. Because of that, he was not able to be here, and unfortunately, that's the way that it is. But I'm here, we here, he's still here in spirit. Big bro, I hope you get that together. Much love to you. So hold on, let me just make sure, because I want to make sure that this is organized and structured. What I'm saying makes sense, that we stand on task. So we talked about, we were hold on, let me see. Understanding the difference between the walk. So we get into this walk. And what is this walk supposed to be? The walk with the dog, when you're talking about a Boerboel, you're talking about a security dog, you're talking about a guardian dog, is more of a patrol. All right. So get that through your head. It's more of a march. It's like a soldier that we're going to a distinct destination. You have to keep that in mind. You want your walk to be purposeful. This is the way that dogs roll as a pack. Somebody, the most highest ranking member, the alpha, they decide this is where we're going, and it's deliberate. It's they go there purposefully. They march to that destination. Along the way, they're gathering information about the environment, and then they're able to make these informed decisions as to the best next move. So think about it like this: we out stalking prey. We this is our way to socialize, interact with the environment, activate all of the scent, smell, sound senses of that the dog has. We give it the dog an opportunity to stimulate this. We're going to do this at a regular, consistent intervals. So, if it's 3 times a week, you're going to be there 3 times a week. I say I'm going to be here on Thursdays, and I'm in here Thursdays. You can count on that. Even if I'm up if I got to do it from the phone or however, but this is the same thing. You're going to build the same type of habit with the dog. You're going to take the dog on a regular, consistent basis. And what this does is it alleviates the dog. It gives kind of a sense of hope where the dog knows that he's going to have an opportunity to express himself and get his play out and check out the news, find out what squirrel been up to, find out what deer been up to, find out what skunk been up to. This is what they do as they gather these smells and these scents when they're out on patrol. It's intel. It's an examination of the environment, and it's a mental exercise. It's a mental activity that is extremely important for the dog. So you can't miss this opportunity. You want to seize it. You can't just take it too lightly and just what we call aimlessly float. Dogs don't do that. Dogs don't respect that. Dogs don't understand that. Dogs don't just aimlessly float, because you got to remember, in the wolf, in the wild, if you start talking about primal instincts, this could be very detrimental to the long-term longevity of the pack. You got to be effective with your hunting. Hunting is a coordinated effort. So there you have a distinct leader. You have clear cut who's in charge of this coordinating effort. Not saying that lower ranking members don't influence the decision, because we are, remember, a collective, and we moving as a unit. So based off of the needs of the pack, they do have an influence on the direction. So we're gonna go some places certain times of the year, based off the climate or how much exercise the puppies need, how old are the puppies, how much they can sustain, how much can they withstand. And we're going to keep all of that in mind, how much energy we're going to exert. All of that comes into play when you start talking about this migratory behavior, this walk, this instinctual move that the dogs are going to be looking forward to. And in order for you to have a great relationship with the best dog on earth, you got to take this into mind. I see all too often dogs just being let out in the backyard, and they mostly spent a lot of time pent up during the day, confined, and then they let out in the backyard, and then that's not enough. That's nowhere near acceptable for their dog's level of intelligence and mental capacity. Dogs, Boerboel in particular, has a strong desire to please. They want to be involved. They want to know. So they're very observative and conscious of our movement. They know, okay, when you go and settle down and sit down, what time it is to take the shoes out, you want to let the dog look forward to this energy release, this opportunity for them to go out. You need them to know that this is going to be happening on a regular basis. So don't get to tearing up the house. Don't get to destructing the radiators and the air compressors. You gotta know that I'm coming through for you like I'm supposed to do. And when you have that, you have less behavior problems. The dog is going to be tired because you're taking the dog on a brisk walk. It's we headed to a distinct destination. We don't have time to chill and catch our breath. And when you're moving at this pace, at this brisk pace, now the dog feel like he's contributing, and it's a social bonding experience for the dog. It's so many levels and components to this deliberate, purposeful walk. I can't understate the importance of regularly getting your dog and taking them to a distinct destination, allowing them to examine and gather intelligence about the environment, what wonders that this would do for you and your dog. The dog is going to look forward to this. To I can't understate it enough, and that's why it's something that I'm going to do on a regular basis with my dogs because I've had so much success. You see me out no matter what the weather is. This is something that I feel like I owe to the dogs because they get so much from it. And when you think about your responsibilities and duties to the Boerboel, because of what they're going to contribute to your life, they're gonna make. I mean, their whole world revolves around you. Nobody else is gonna look at you the way that this Boerboel does. I mean, they're gonna be. I mean, everything. People feel like the Boerboel has a sixth sense because they are calculating. They can even feel our heartbeat when our heart starts to race. They're looking at our breath patterns, our voice tones, the expressions on our face. All of these little things that the rest of the world overlooks, it means so much to your Boerboel. It means so much to your dog. And when you provide that opportunity for the dog to release and express itself and feel like he's contributing and he's doing his job, you're going to have a great relationship. And if you fail to do this, you can look forward to experiencing some pain, right? If you're into the pain and you're having your stuff destroyed, because this is a powerful dog. Remember, if you look at the breeding programs in South Africa, the big farms with pastures, and a lot of times where they keeping the dogs, it mocks and resembles largely a horse pastures. Then you get the dogs over here to the United States because of our luxurious living and most of us living in a large percentage of people living in urban environments and urban areas. We tend to keep dogs in crates or smaller backyards, and they spend a lot of time confined. This is going to lead to anxiety, energy, frustration, pent up, and destructive habits and behaviors. So you want to get ahead of yourself. You want to start to understand that this is going to happen, and knowing how to prevent. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. I know that I'm going to have at some stage around 6 to 8 months, my dog's energy levels, muscle requirements. He's going to be able to start to work out. He's going to have a little bit more. He's getting into his adolescence. He's going to start to put on some of that serious muscle that, the foundation for his muscle starts at that age. So you prepare for this. And you've already been doing the light walk, but now we getting into this migratory effect. And it is so important and it's often overlooked. And I see so many people coming into this breed with these dogs, and they have the idea, when I get my yard together, I'll be able to just have a dog and it's going to be easy. And I want you to understand that is not going to be enough for the large majority of African Boerboels. They need this deliberate, purposeful. They need the purpose. They need the walk is the bare minimum that you should be doing with your dogs. I like to exercise mine. I take them on a bike rides, really intense bike rides. Great way to magnify the benefits of the walk. So because we on the bike, we able to cover a larger distance. But I'm just here to help you, boy buddies. I'm not gonna take up too much of your time today because it's just me on a solo dolo. But I'm here, y'all, just like I said I would be. And this is all really information that I have just like stored in my memory banks. I just wanted everyone to understand how important that it is. If anybody got any questions, we can open it up for some questions. But today is going to be a rapid episode. We're going to get back into this recap shortly, basically what I covered. And, I open it up for any questions. Mr. Price, I see you in here, Mr. Price. What's happening? Everybody, we Don't forget that we got our show coming up September 21st, the biggest one ever, the first one. It's gonna be super big. We got Boerboels, Corsos, Dogos. We got a bunch of dogs coming out. If you want to see the finest and the best of the big dogs in the United States, come on out to September 21st to the Hampton Coliseum in Virginia. It's gonna be huge. If you know anybody that's in the area, let them know that we're gonna be there. Baba, what's good? I mean, what's going on is that's what the main thing that's happening September 21st. Um, so yeah, anybody having any questions, we answer them. I'm happy to answer. Remember, if you're looking for resources, you want to check in at boerboelpuppy.com, unitedboerboelclub.com. There go my peoples. What's happening? What's going on? Auntie Jan, Tito in here, glorified Boerboel Kennels. What's the deal? And let me just double check to make sure that I covered everything. But yeah, definitely want to get a Boerboel purpose. You want to investigate. So we're going to recap it. And then we're going to bust up out of here. Listen, y'all. I'm going to get active. I'm going to give y'all some real life examples to help you better understand. We're going to hit on some of the same stuff a couple of different times to make sure that people get it completely understood. And it may sound repetitive, but you're going to learn something new every time if you're paying attention. I look, there's so much for me to cover. Sometimes I overlook some of the things that I want to share with you. But like we said, we talked about, the effects of a walk, talking about walking the dogs, how that should be something that's deliberate. We want to think about as an patrol, an investigation. Remembering, the Boerboel's guardian nature and habits and instincts. So we don't want to just aimlessly float. We're going to do a patrol and an investigation. We're going to activate the dog's three major senses: smell, sight, and sound. This is important from a physical and a social standpoint because the dog needs an opportunity to exercise. So we want to exert some energies and burn some of these calories that we're packing on. Second, from a social standpoint, it allows the dog to interact with the environment, and that is social. It stimulates different areas of the brain because they're able to smell, see, and hear different sounds that helps them relieve boredom and anxiety. So remember that your role is the pack leader. The pack, what is the pack? A pack is a family. A pack is a unit. A pack is a collective collection of individuals, and they are a unit. The lower ranking members have no input on the direction and the leadership of the pack. That's strictly controlled by the alpha male and female. Lower ranking members do influence, but they have no input on the final decision. Aimlessly wandering, dogs don't do that in the wild. Why? Because they could wander into someone's territory that could be detrimental to their health. Remember that they're trying to hunt, so they don't want to tip off the prey animals. They have to be able to do this effectively. So they're actually stalking prey, gathering intelligence, patrolling the territory, so on and so forth. This traveling and spending time together enforces pack dynamics and social structure. All of this organized movement builds the bond, and it's a way to give you a shared purpose. So it's an activity that you get out, and it's kind of like you and the Boerboel against the world. Me and my dog. At that time, we going back to the prehistoric ages. And I'm relying on the dog, and the dog is relying on me. Oh, we got a question. What is the best way for a breeder to establish a pack environment? So I think that's a great question. Thank you for that, Richard Boerboel. What's up going on with my man? Y'all make sure y'all go check out Richard Boerboel in New Jersey. He's doing some amazing things, and he got some puppies on the ground right now. Great question. As we was getting into the recap, one of the ways to establish the pack. So it's just like a family. Remember, dogs spending time together is their way of expressing love. They don't hug each other. They're not kissing each other in the mouth. They simply, if you watch dogs in the wild, at home, on your yard, they spend time together, right? Your role as the leader is to set boundaries. So you have to be very observative of the behavior. Some dogs may play rough. This was when mom steps in and she says, hey, that's enough. Y'all need to calm that down. Nobody bites harder than me. So what happens, mom steps in, hey, and then she breaks up that energy. She sees it happening. Or one puppy tends to maybe bite too hard when he plays with mom. So you're the same way. So like me, when I come to the puppies, they all excited to see me. Immediately, I'm establishing, don't jump up on me, right? And all of the rest of the dogs know this, but the same way that I am checking the dogs by, calming them down, you're going to be observative. You're going to be anticipating the same way that the dog is doing for you, because the dog they know our tendencies, they know our habits, they know our comings and goings. They have a great feel for our moods and the way that we express ourselves, our voice tones, and they are able to anticipate what we're going to do next. That's why sometimes I feel like people may feel like the Boerboel is psychic, but for you, in order to balance and level the playing field, you want to be in order to, it says, I have no kennels. Okay, wait. It says, I have no kennels to try and create that and make them live in a group and figure it out. Exactly. And that's what I encourage. Pack style living, where if you look at the farms, some of the old videos, you talk about the tour from the 90s, you look at any of the old videos, and this is one of the things that I think brings the Boerboel near and dear to my heart. You see the dogs just out on the farm, a bunch of dogs hanging out together, just living in harmony, and it's a beautiful thing. That's the ideology that I try to employ to manage my pack, and this is what makes it so. It's like you're leading a lion pack or wolf pack. You understanding their natural tendencies, and you're anticipating, the dogs get into it, or it's going to be some disagreements, and you're going to check those agreements. And that's the best way to establish what is allowed, acceptable within the pack. Who's going to eat first? So that feeding time may cause the pack to go in a frenzy where everybody is getting, extremely heightened. If your dogs are like mine, they only eating when they hungry. So feeding time can encourage the frenzy. And we want to remember that we're looking for that calm, submissive type of energy, right? So before, we're not just going to put the food out and let everybody go down and chow. We're going to wait until all the dogs are calm. Now, when you have calm dogs and you're able to communicate with your pack, and you have calm energy, now you can thank you, big bro. Thank you. When you have that calm energy, that's how you're able to manage. You reward that calm energy, and then you don't see the energy. Monitoring and managing the energy is so important with Boerboels. Really important with all dogs. You have to, if you ever go to a doggy daycare, they separate the dogs not by the size, they separate the dogs by the energy level, because a lower level energy dog won't have the same level of tolerance for a dog. They don't even play the same way as a dog with a whole lot of energy. So like I'm saying, what I'm saying is to effectively, you have to have rules. Right. So yes, the main thing, and another thing is making sure that the dog is, you're relieving boredom too. No kennels is a great way to start it, but if you did have kennels, don't leave the dogs locked up in there. Remember, they get bored with a space. You have to move them around, and I'm not talking about just the back. They have to get beyond their normal territory, out into the wilderness, so to speak. It says, anytime your puppies or big dogs get unruly, immediately check forcefully. Either do it with hands on or a forceful tongue. And I think that's a good point to make. You definitely have to check the dog. And this is where understanding that calm, assertive energy comes into play. So if the dog is normally used to your calm voice tones, calm energy, gentle, gradual movements, and then you take it up a notch. If you and it are in tune with your dog, then they automatically know I'm overstepping and I need to reel it back in. So there's again that calm, assertive, submissive energy. You're looking for a submission from the dog, and you yourself want to be assertive. Uh, Hands down, this is the best way to effectively manage dogs in general. It says, please explain littermate syndrome. So littermate syndrome is when two dogs they grow up together, and they learn more habits and behaviors from one another than they do from the boss or the leader. So they tend to build up habits. Some of them may be good, some of them may be detrimental. But this is something that you have to kind of separate those two dogs. And if you notice that a lot of times when I go out on the walks, I have an individual dog with me. This is the time for isolation, that one-on-one time, the personal time. So that way we can work on any specific behaviors that are directly related to the individual. We can address, certain things. And we want to let the dog know that you are just as important as anybody else. We don't want the dogs have a great sense of fairness, and they're able to learn. They're able to learn and retain information. So you want to treat the dog fair. He see you giving another dog treat or opportunity to run and learn and explore, and then you don't do that to them. They get it frustrated. They don't understand why. And they do have they are able to have they do have a sense of fairness. So you have to make sure that you're treating all of the dogs fairly. But boy, buddies, the time has come for me to say goodbye. I really appreciate everyone that stayed. I hope that y'all picked up some valuable information, because this is really relevant. Very relevant information. There was one key point I wanted to make before I left. So much to go over though, boy buddies. What was that key point that I wanted to make? Getting off, boy buddies. Losing my mind. But if anybody have any more questions, y'all have any more questions, I'll take them now. So we talked about this pace, direction, reinforcing your role as the leader. Hey, listen though, boy, buddies, though. I want y'all to know I really be thinking about it. Look at this. This is all stuff, research that I've been writing, research books that I've been reading, stuff that I gathered online. This is all from this week, today and yesterday. So I'm not just chilling out. It's all facts and stuff. Information about the walks. And so if you got questions, if you have questions, I'm happy to answer. If I don't know the answer, I'll get back to you. I'll do the research because I just am a fan of information and I like to know myself. Stop. For buddies, the time has come for me to go. I appreciate y'all. I know it's not our normal 1 hour. This is a great question. So, my stud beaker, when you're talking about alpha dog, my stud beaker, I have to keep separate. I would love to have him with the rest of the pack, but he is so dominant, he just fights as soon as he is challenged. Address that. How do I address that? Well, family, let me tell you, Biko feel like he's the top dog, he's the boss, and he gonna regulate when he wants to. So he gotta know you are very disappointed when he takes that approach. And somehow it's been communicated to him that that behavior is acceptable. That's why he continues to do it. If he knew that you were extremely disappointed, that's one of the worst things that he can do. What I would do is I would give the dog strong corrections, right? There is a technique where you will absolutely defeat the dog. Is used employing the leash and the choke collar, the correction collar. But I would employ it, and I would make sure that he understood that this behavior, I would check the dog like never before. And I would make him understand that, it's almost like we have our own fight. So anytime that you jump on another dog, you're going to have to fight me. And this is not about punishing the dog physically. It's more about establishing I'm in charge. Don't make it upon yourself to fight within this family. He's bigger than he's big. This is intense. This you talking about 170-pound dog, a serious dog, a real dog, a dominant dog. You're not going to I'm talking about serious. You got to let him know, bro, with your Boerboel specifically, you got to let him know that I will overpower you. I am in charge, and this behavior is not going to be tolerated, right? So, and the best way to do that is through the leash. That is your communication tool. Some people like to employ the prong collars, even the shot collar. I like to go with the old school correction collar. What's up, bro? And then I'm gonna check the dog extremely. I'm talking about when I say a correction. Remember, it's not about cutting off the windpipe. It's more so about snatching the fur, pinching the fur up into that loop. So I'm going to snatch it up. Whoop, whoop, over my head. Whoop, 3 times. Bad dog. Whoop, screaming, bad dog. Oh, maybe 5 times. Oh, 7 times. Oh, bad dog, until I see him completely submit. Right? And I'm letting them know I'm extremely disappointed. I never talked to him like that. Bad dog, bad, and snatch, boom. I'm talking about bringing it up to here, huh? With all my strength, jumping even with my feet, who, jumping off the ground, snatching it, who, just like that. Now, when you're doing that, the dog is gonna be defeated. Okay, he is not going to like that. And now I set up the situation for him to act up just so I could check him hard. That's how you look. This is my experience, boy buddies. I ain't gonna tell you nothing that didn't work for me. This is how I do it with my dogs. You see me out 8, 9 dogs. You see me out with dogs in heat. You see me out with multiple males. You see me out with multiple females, multiple males, multiple females, dogs in heat, right? Remember, a shepherd always have a staff. So if you don't have the leash intact, handy, I always recommend the leash, though. There's so much power within that leash. And you taking it up there. You know, we having a fight. Snatch it up real hard. Like you're swinging a baseball bat. And that's when they say firm handling. And I know that it may sound harsh, but what's worse? Having dogs bit up, hold up, infections, fighting amongst each other, him trying to, Joku trying to get his lick back with Balto. Balto took a lick. He want to get his lick back. He feels some type of way. I can't have that. I can't have that on the yard. So I can't have that within my family. I can't have sisters fighting with each other, brothers fighting with each other. You should expect the same capability. Should you expect the same training and capability? Let me put the question up. Should you expect the same training capabilities or methods out of a Boerboel from other breeds, such as the Belgian Malinois or a German Shepherd? Okay, so in my experience, the Shepherd, the Malinois, they're gonna be more responsive to the. Remember, a Boerboel has a high tolerance for pain. A Boerboel has a high tolerance for pain. So that's how you got to do it, bro. So yeah, maybe you might not have to be as physical with a shepherd because you're talking about an 80-pound dog, 90-pound tops. Whereas you're talking about a Boerboel, you're talking about hundreds of pounds. Again, it's about firm discipline, clear disappointment, letting the dog know, I can't believe you did that. I am so disappointed. And you're just kind of scolding them. It's not about physically reprimanding. You're not trying to punish them. You're not trying to give them a spanking. Literally. So you're not taking a stick and gonna whoop the dog's butt. That's not how we correct the dogs. Dogs don't respond to this abuse. Yep. So yeah, I seen Joku. We've all seen Joku. Biko. Biko is a beast of a dog. And he's one of those dogs where he looks so serious, you're not going to, like play around. You know how you might agitate a dog when you first meet him and see is he serious or whatever. You're not going to play like that with Biko. You can try these methods. A lot of these methods that I am speaking of apply. I learned directly from a person that trained military dogs. So this is why I'm a firm believer in that they will work. And I'm talking about the meanest and the toughest of dogs. They were sent to my man, and he would bring them out the crate. People couldn't even get them out the crate. Some of them was eating the crates up. That guy was bringing in dogs from Afghanistan, everywhere, and he'd bring them right out, no problem. And he showed me his technique, amazing technique. It's hard to know what you think. Noise, right? The noise is a correction, exactly. Once that thing starts clinking, clink, 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 and tightening, the dog already knows to pay attention. So remember, they're anticipating. More buddies, I got a roll. I appreciate y'all. They do have an extremely high pain tolerance. Man, I say always get physical. Get physical with that leash. Prong collars work extreme. Yep. Yep, that's all that take. Boy, buddies, I appreciate everybody that left a comment. I'll be back again. Listen, I'm getting ready. I want to go out before the sun setting, make some more content. And it's up there, y'all. Until we meet again, stay tuned, stay busy, y'all, stay active.
No rush, go on, move dumb. Back and forth, push and shove.